Jackie.
And together, we are
Functionally
Functionally Literate!
29?
God damn it.
To harken back to something I did not have anything to do with.
Yeah.
I want to ambush Ryan here really quickly.
Oh, boy.
I listened to Functionally Literate's Princess Bride recap.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ryan's wife was the guest speaker on that. Hey, Kit, you're beautiful. I love you. When you're done with this, I would definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't.
Well, thank you, Jackie.
I loved it. It made me fall in love with Kit. It will probably make you fall in love with Kit as well.
I love people loving my wife.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm going to drag Ryan a little bit here.
Oh, no.
Kit wanted something over the course of recording the Princess Bride stuff. And every time she brought it up, I felt a pain in my heart for her. My heart bled for her a tiny bit. And Ryan was a ruthless monster.
Oh, no. What are you talking about?
A ruthless monster.
What are you talking about?
All the woman wanted was something very simple. You wouldn't give it to her.
What are you
Frugality
talking about?
got in the way.
What are you talking about?
I'll cut right to the chase, listener. What did Kit want? She wanted pasta. When did she want it? Now.
Oh.
As a living, breathing human being, a feminist, as a brunette, as a glasses wearer, I empathized with Kit. I wanted that pasta too. And I just wanted Kit to be happy. Kit, I hope you got the pasta for your heart. I hope your heart is filled with pasta.
She has had pasta numerous times since then.
Because if you're not going to get her pasta, I'm going to steal your girl and I'm going to get Kit pasta.
Listen, I just have a gripe about us having leftovers that we never eat and then get thrown out. It's so wasteful.
I get that.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you get that.
I just hate it.
All right, well.
Because I get that at my house too.
Well,
I'm the leftover police at my house.
yeah. I'm not leftover police. I'm the leftover nag. Leftovers get thrown out so often. It's ridiculous.
For sure, you're right. Food waste, food waste. I get it.
Anyway.
But also.
Anyway. Today, we are talking about The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Chapters 16 through 18. This is a book written by Oscar Wilde. As far as I'm aware, it's the only book he wrote.
The only novel.
It's the only novel he wrote.
Correct.
He wrote lots of other things. You are reading this story from, what was it? The Complete Works of Oscar Wilde?
Correct. It's the complete works of Oscar Wilde, which includes stories, plays, poems, and essays.
Okay.
And the very first thing in my book is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Right after the introduction by his son, Vivian.
Vivian Wilde.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It dives right on in.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What's the introduction from his son say?
He kind of summarizes his father's work, and I think it was probably hard for him to provide much more than kind of facts.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't think, from what I can gather, I don't think he probably knew his father all that well in the first place.
I do gather that Oscar Wilde was a bit of an absent father.
I think when he was around, it was probably great times, but I don't know how often he was actually around. IDK. But I will say that I did read through the introduction a couple of times because it's always interesting to me what a child says about their parents, being a parent my own self.
Sure.
Sometimes I wonder, like, oh my gosh, I wonder what my kids would say about me.
Yeah.
It looks to me like Vivian, again, I mean, kind of just went through his father's catalog and, talked about what he did.
So there was nothing, like, strongly heartfelt in there.
Not really, although the last part of it, which kind of to me connects to bits here in Dorian, it said that all his life, my father had an intense leaning toward religious mysticism and was strongly attracted to the Catholic Church, into which he was received on his deathbed in 1900. His remains now lie in the French National Cemetery of Père Lachaise.
What did he die of? Does it say about that?
It doesn't say.
Because I know he died relatively young.
He died of meningitis.
He died of meningitis.
Mm-hmm. it says, now this is Wikipedia, guys.
Don't bash Wikipedia.
I know, sorry. Well, but anyway, take that how you will.
You can look at the sources.
You can, true.
There's sources on Wikipedia.
There are different opinions as to what had caused the meningitis. There was one man, Richard Ellman, who judged it might have been syphilitic, which, who knows? Merlin Howland, Oscar Wilde's grandson, thought that was a misconception, and that it might have been following like a surgical intervention, maybe some sort of mastoidectomy. It could have been some sort of suppuration from his right ear from a prison injury as he was imprisoned.
He served a few years in prison.
Hard labor for indecent, what was it, gross indecency? For just being himself.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No. Nope.
He just lived in a very prudish time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say what might have caused it. Who knows? But he died of meningitis.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Nothing super scandalous necessarily.
Anyways, we're not talking about the author. We're talking about the book that he wrote.
You're right.
Which is The Picture of Dorian Gray. As I've mentioned, Jackie is reading from a copy of the complete works of Oscar Wilde. I am reading two versions. I am reading the classic version published in 1892, but I am also reading the uncensored version originally published in a Harvard magazine in 1890.
Was that Lippincott?
Lippincott was the publisher.
Okay.
But the magazine that it was actually published in, I believe, was a Harvard magazine.
So extra credit points for you.
So previously, on the last episode, Dorian killed Basil, the man who painted his picture, the one that looks like a garish older version of him by this point. Mm-hmm. And he blackmailed a former lover, allegedly.
Alleged.
Into disposing of the body Breaking Bad style.
Yeah. Chemistry comes in handy here and there.
And then the final chapter we discussed in the last episode was him going to a dinner party where he was just trying to live his life as though nothing had happened. Didn't work out so well for him. He's obviously still very much bothered by the events of what has happened. Not so much that he did it, but that it happened.
Yeah.
He went home, burned the last of Basil's things, his coat and his bag, and then decided to go to an opium den. And so the chapter we're going to discuss is chapter 16, where he goes to an opium den.
The guy needs some drugs. Who can blame him?
Chapter 16. How Dorian went to an opium den to forget and got more than he bargained for.
I love that.
So, Dorian goes to an opium den.
So that he's on his way to the opium den. The bars are closing. There's raucous people out, making a scene, getting weird and drunk and stuff like that.
Like you do late at night.
Of course. He gets to the opium den. It's filthy. There's people kind of strewn all over the place.
It's an opium den.
As you do.
Like, opium dens typically just kind of have mattresses everywhere with people just laying about on
just
them.
Smoky poofs.
Smoky poofs.
That's what they called me in high school.
No, they didn't.
Just to say.
You are!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, look, if anybody from Winfield High School is listening to this, and you chumps better be, thank you.
Well, the only way they will is if you share it with them.
I will. Oh, trust me.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Go ahead and weigh in on what you actually called me in high school.
Leave it in the comments.
Smash those comment buttons.
Anyways, so his attitude is kind of like 3 days in here and I'll be good as new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me enter my stupor. I will emerge a butterfly.
So, unfortunately, he encounters an old friend in there, a young man called Adrian Singleton.
Yep.
It's implied that Adrian is here because of something Dorian did, but it's not clear what. And it's interesting, the dynamic here, because it doesn't seem that Adrian hates him, and Dorian feels regretful about Adrian being here, but
Mhm.
ignoring that regret, he's also displeased that Adrian is here because he hoped to get his opium somewhere that nobody knew him.
Yep,
which is
absolutely.
why he dressed up like a commoner
Mhm.
when he went out.
He wants to get a drink with Adrian before he goes. Adrian's like, nah, man.
Yeah.
I'm not into that shit.
So I want to note here that Adrian was mentioned briefly by Basil in chapter 12.
I don't remember that. Please help.
So when he was talking about how everyone that associates with Dorian comes to ruin, he said specifically about Adrian, what about Adrian Singleton and his dreadful end? I took that to mean that Adrian died, but I guess it just is referring to how he, I don't know, fell out of favor with society or something. I don't know. It should also be noted that when Dorian speaks to Adrian, he name drops another character from Lady Windermere's fan. One Mr. Lord Darlington. That's the character I played.
I thought that name sounded familiar because
Yeah.
when, for those of you who maybe haven't been with us since the first episode in this series.
Weird choice.
I mean, do you, baby? You're doing great. But anyway, in our first episode, Ryan and I kind of discussed how we met, and I remember Ryan and I spent a lot of time together pre-show because I had to do his hair, which took 1,000 years because
you were making me look like Shirley Temple.
He needed to really look like a dandy, and boy, did I really come through.
Yeah.
But he would talk to me about the previous plays that he had done, and he had mentioned, that he had played
Lord Darlington and Lady Windermere's fan back in 2024. So when Dorian says to Adrian, I thought you had left England, Adrian begins his reply by saying, Darlington is not going to do anything. It's not clear what he means by that.
He says, my brother paid the bill at last.
Yeah.
So it was his brother paying the bill.
Something to do with money and bills, and then he talks about getting more opium and how that's all he cares about now.
Mm-hmm. He says, as long as one has this stuff, one doesn't want friends. I think I have had too many friends.
So in Lady Windermere's fan, when Lord Darlington is rejected by Lady Windermere, he tells her that he is leaving England and she'll never see him again. So my speculation is that Adrian went to Darlington, wherever he is, for money, and consequently fell out of favor with him.
Do you think they may have been lovers?
Him and Lord Darlington?
Yeah,
or Adrian and Dorian?
Any combination.
Lord Darlington is super straight.
Oh, okay.
And not only that, he wants to steal your woman.
Okay.
Yeah, because so the whole thing in Lady Windermere's fan is that there are rumors that Lord Windermere is cheating on Lady Windermere. Like, he is seen in public with Mrs. Erlyn quite a lot. And that is because Mrs. Erlyn, spoilers for like a 100-year-old play, Mrs. Erlyn is secretly Lady Windermere's mother. Lady Windermere has no idea. Lord Windermere does know this, and Mrs. Erlyn's kind of holding this over his head to extort money out of him. A lot of money, by the way. Like, in modern money, like millions of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Get yours,
and so, like, the whole thing is, like, these rumors are abounding, and Lord Darlington is aware of these rumors, and he believes them. And so his whole argument is like, why would you stay with a man who's cheating with you? Run away with me. She doesn't go for it. And so then he's like, all right, whatever. I'm out of here. You're never going to see me again. It's not clear where he goes. Just some other country.
Mm-hmm. So Dorian meets Adrian in the opium den, and they kind of start talking. He wanted to be where no man knew who he was. He says he wanted to escape from himself.
Yes, he did. And
so he decides, I'm going to a different place.
Before this happens, though, like, while he's talking to Adrian, a woman approaches him, and he snubs her by, like, turning away and saying something to Adrian. The woman calls him out, and he gets mad, throws money at her, and tells her never to speak to him again. Then he says his goodbyes to Adrian, like, if you need anything, you'll call on me, won't you? And Adrian's like, yeah, whatever. And another woman who's with the first woman calls him the devil's bargain.
There goes the devil's bargain.
Yes. he curses her. He literally says, "Curse you!" And the woman taunts him by saying he prefers to be called Prince Charming, which is important.
Prince Charming is what you like to be called, ain't it?
Yeah. And so this is important because way back in like chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, around then, when he was with Sybil, Vane, he never went by his actual name. Sybil knew his Christian name, his first name, but she didn't know anything else really about him. And so she, with her friends and family, would just refer to him as Prince Charming. And there was notably a chapter, I think it was chapter 5. There was a chapter when it just focused on Sybil's family.
Mm-hmm.
And James, back when he was a young man and he was going to go leave to, like, you know, make his fortune.
In Australia or something.
He made a vow to kill Dorian, not knowing who Dorian was, if he mistreated Sybil.
And boy, did he.
Right. But of course, he never had the opportunity to get his revenge because he had no idea who Dorian was. But
so as she says this,
yeah,
it says that the drowsy sailor, kind of lolling around, leapt up to his feet, and the sound of the shutting door made him hurry up and rush out in pursuit of Dorian, who just left.
And this is such a cool moment. Like, I loved this moment. Mm-hmm. This is another one of the new chapters. This wasn't in the original version of the story, mm-hmm. but I really liked this chapter.
Okay.
Because of this interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
James fucking shoves him against a wall or something, puts a pistol in his face, mm-hmm. and is like, he's like, admit to what you did. And Dorian's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so then James starts talking about Sybil and how he brought her end. And it's like, for years I've looked for you. I mm-hmm. never knew who you were. Just some chance encounter. And Dorian's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
How long ago was this?
Right. And so this is the interesting bit, right? Mm-hmm. James tells him to get on his knees and admit what he did or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Dorian has just a stroke of a good idea. Like, he has $1 million idea.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, like you said, he says, how long ago was this? How long ago did your sister die? James says 18 years. Dorian scoffs. He's like, 18 years, my man, look at me in the light. So James does. He pulls him into the lantern light, sees that Dorian couldn't possibly be older than 20.
Mm-hmm.
Not much older than Sybil was when she died.
Little older than a lad of 20 summers, hardly older.
Yeah. And so this next bit is just fucking rich. James is so regretful, so apologetic, and Dorian is like, you have been on the brink of committing a terrible crime, my man. Let this be a warning not to take vengeance into your own hands. You better head on home now. Put that pistol away before you get in trouble.
God.
You fucking hypocrite.
The hubris, man.
And so
James is beside himself for almost killing what he thinks is an innocent man.
Yeah. And then the woman who called Dorian Prince Charming, she grabs James by the shoulder and talks to him and is just like, you should have killed him.
Why didn't you kill him?
Why didn't you kill him? She sets him straight. She tells him that he should have killed Dorian, that he ruined her, that people say he made a deal with the devil for everlasting youth, and not to say anything to him about her because she's scared of him. So James rounds to go after Dorian, but Dorian's long gone. When he tries to find the woman again, she's gone too. Mm-hmm. And that's so cool. This episode is brought to you by me. Yeah. I made this show, and I really like making this show, but it's a hobby, which means there's very little money coming into it. So if you are in a position to financially support this show and you like this show, there's a few ways that you can support the show. We have a Patreon where you can subscribe for $1 per month.
Just $1?
Just $1.
Yeah.
That makes you a functional reader, which means that you can listen to the show without mid-breaks. You don't have to listen to this bit where I tell you that you can sign up for the Patreon because you'll already be on the Patreon.
To hope. Okay.
Yeah. Alternatively, you can become an executive reader, which means that for $13 per month, you'll get to listen to new episodes as I finish editing them. Which means you could just listen to any random episode that I finish editing at my whim. I'll just upload it to the Patreon and then you can listen to it.
Do what you want.
Yeah, do what you want. We also have a PayPal where you can provide one-time donations of however much you would like to contribute.
Buy us a coffee.
Buy us a coffee. Buy us a book. Honestly, I need a new computer. My computer is kind of on its last limbs, and that's what I use to edit. So
I'm a fan
cool.
of cute notebooks. If you're into that,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you need to give us laptop money or notebook money. But just whatever you can pitch our way. If you liked an episode, give us some money.
Tip us in the tip jar, man.
Yeah,
a couple of bucks.
Exactly. Small donations are what make donations work.
They add up.
Every
little bit helps.
So if you feel like, oh, I couldn't contribute very much. No, whatever you got, man. Whatever you got.
Go for it.
Anyways, back to the show. I love this idea of Dorian using his youth to his advantage. Like, oh, I couldn't possibly have known this Sybil person. Right. I'm too young for that.
Right.
Because this is not something that is ever touched on in at all ever again. Like the idea of using his youth to his advantage in this way.
I kind of assumed that to kind of assuade like worry or like confusion about why he hasn't aged. I feel like it was something he probably avoided talking about a lot.
And this explains in chapter 12 the discrepancy in the uncensored version and the classic version. Because in the uncensored version, Dorian's 32. Mm-hmm. In the classic version, he's 38. You have to have that larger age gap for this moment to work properly.
Right.
And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because we never get another moment like that. Like, but knowing very little about the story before reading it, I was under the impression that Dorian was going to live for like decades and decades, but still look 20. And he was going to have to start dealing with issues of like, oh, I need to impersonate my son or something.
Yeah, like a damn vampire.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about.
Yeah.
Go back a couple of episodes, please.
Yeah. He's basically a vampire.
Essentially.
I just think that was really cool.
I agree.
And it's probably my favorite chapter that we're going to discuss this episode.
At first, I had my own presumption of who the woman was. I don't think I'm right, but I did presume that I knew who the woman was.
Who do you think it was?
Well, honestly, there was a part of me that kind of hoped it was Sybil, and she actually had lived, thought to be dead, and then actually ended up living through it. And then I thought, well, maybe it's Sybil's mother. But now I'm just maybe some random...
James would have known them. I would like to think.
I don't know. To me, it felt like the woman knew James, I guess, somehow. So that's why I thought it. Am I right or wrong? I don't know. But yeah, that was my kind of assumption. But I don't think I'm right.
Chapter 17. How Lord Henry had a duel of wits and how Dorian Gray fainted from fright. I have very little to say about this chapter.
Same. So chapter 17 is a lot like one of those, the chapter that we had talked about previously, earlier in the book, about how, it's a lot of just kind of nothing.
This is a chapter that Oscar Wilde wrote later for the classic version. This was not a part of the original story.
Now, when we read through chapter 11 in 2 episodes ago, you had gotten onto, I believe, Reddit and found someone who was talking about chapter 11 and how important it is.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's somebody out there that has some sort of insight into this chapter. I'd love to hear it.
I didn't look it up because I didn't hate this chapter. I was just kind of bored by this chapter.
Yeah, it was big skim for me. Big skimming on this one.
So Dorian was throwing a house party at the conservatory of Selby Royal. This was about a week after the events of the last chapter we just discussed. Mm-hmm. There were 12 people there, with more expected to come. This was like a multi-day affair. The people named were the Duke and Duchess of Monmouth, Lady Narborough, and Lord Henry. The only important characters in this chapter are Dorian, Harry, and the Duchess. So Harry and the Duchess are cousins, or at least they say they're cousins, and the way they talk to each other, I definitely could see them being cousins, because they talk to each other not at all romantically. They talk to each other like they've known each other for a very long time.
There's a familiarity there.
So they call each other cousins, so I'm inclined to believe that they're cousins. They spend the bulk of this chapter having like this sharp and witty argument. And it's amusing, but it's not important. Like, there's nothing that they say that I think actually matters.
It's like Dorian's just sort of there.
Yeah, Dorian's present for much of it.
Mm-hmm.
He steps away at one point to get the Duchess some orchids, and the cousins just kind of continue arguing.
Mm-hmm.
They continue arguing until they hear a groan and a thud. Mm-hmm. And they rush to find Dorian had collapsed. They're concerned about him. He doesn't tell anyone why he collapsed. But the chapter ends by revealing to us that Dorian passed out because he saw James Vane pressed up against the conservatory window. So, I suppose, just so we don't spend just literally 3 minutes talking about this, was there anything in the conversation between Lord Henry and the Duchess of Monmouth that was notable to you, that you thought was funny or worth mentioning?
There was one line. I'm sure there's plenty more if I were to dive back into it. However, there's one line that stuck out to me. It was that a burned child loves the fire.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not even singed. My wings are untouched. And I think that's an allusion to Icarus, possibly.
Yeah, that seems like it. He's just like, I haven't flown too close to the sun.
Right.
I would argue that he has, but he has a very gracious wife who is also fooling around with other people.
For sure. 100%.
Like any other woman, and he would have definitely flown too close to the sun.
This is the openest marriage that there possibly could be.
In this time. Yeah. For sure.
But no, otherwise, I liked the burnt child loves the fire, and then he brings up his wings are not touched. I tend to like Greek mythology. I'm not super duper knowledgeable about all of it. There's a F-ton out there.
I highly recommend you check out Stephen Fry's Mythos books.
Okay.
It's a trilogy. I think he's writing a fourth book. So the first book is Mythos. That's almost entirely about the Pantheon. And then there's Heroes, about the heroes. Mm-hmm. Except for the heroes involved with Troy. Because there was another book, Troy, about Troy, and the story involving Troy. And it's kind of goes through phases, right? A lot of the stories to do with the gods are the early stuff, and then a lot of the stories to do with the heroes is the transition from mythical times to historical times, because those stories are all about heroes killing monsters and making the world more civilized.
Right.
And then Troy it's one of the last few times where the gods are relevant, because this is when you get into things that historically did happen. There was a war to do with the city of Troy,
right? And
there was a lot attributed to the gods happening with that. So there's a lot of mythical stuff going on there, but there's a lot of historical stuff too.
Yeah.
So those are very interesting stories. There was a Greek reference that made you think of that. Mm-hmm. Greek meets Greek then. I am on the side of the Trojans. They fought for a woman. They were defeated. There are worse things than capture. You gallop with a loose rein. Pace gives life. I shall write it in my diary tonight. And it just goes on like this. It's cute, but it's not, again, it's not important.
It reminds me a little bit of, I think it's called Mrs. Warren's Profession. And forgive me, I don't remember who wrote it.
Okay.
Shaw, possibly.
What about Mrs. Warren's Profession?
So she, in the book, there's a lot of that, kind of quick banter.
Yeah.
And on reading this, I just was reminded of that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was written around the same time. I'm going to check into that really quickly. Yeah, so Mrs. Warren's Profession was written by George Bernard Shaw.
Hey, you got it right.
Yeah, I had it right. Yeah, it was written in 1893, right around the time that this book was written.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was maybe just something that was in vogue, with just like kind of quick dialogue like that. Very Tarantino.
There's not much to say about chapter 17.
There really isn't. I'm sorry, Oscar Wilde and Oscar Wilde lovers. I wonder if there's just something that we're missing, but...
No, I don't think
know.
there is. I
Mm.
think Oscar Wilde was just trying to pad this into a fuller length novel for whatever reason.
It's a fairly short novel, frankly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we find Dorian has fainted. He says, I'm okay. I must have overtired myself. He wants to go ahead, and he doesn't want to be alone because he's terrified of what he saw.
James Vane.
He doesn't realize that that's what he had seen until he goes to his room to get dressed, and he comes to the realization that that was James Vane pressed against the window of the conservatory watching him.
Chapter 18, How a Man Was Killed by Misadventure at Dorian's Party. So this chapter begins by emphasizing that Dorian spent the next few days totally unnerved by seeing James.
Terrified.
He convinced himself that he was seeing things, and so then began to judge himself for having a guilty conscience.
About time, dude.
No, but it's not even like he doesn't even know if that's what it is he's feeling.
Yeah.
But if it is, he's judging himself for it.
Yeah, but he's like trying to rationalize, like, had any footmarks been found in the flower beds? Surely the gardeners would have said something. Like, he's
Right.
trying to talk himself out of the fact that he definitely
So
saw
because
James Vane.
nobody else saw James, he's
Right.
convincing himself that he's
Yep.
that he's just seeing things. And so one day, Dorian comes across Joffrey Clouston, who is the Duchess of Monmouth's brother, who is shooting.
Mhm.
Dorian asks him if he's had much luck, and Joffrey says he hasn't.
Mhm.
And then they see a hare bolting, and Joffrey takes aim. Dorian loved the look of the hare and tells Joffrey not to fire. Joffrey thinks this is ridiculous and fires anyway.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna do it.
As I recall, he hits the hare, but he also hit a man who was hiding in the bushes.
There was the cry of the hare and the cry
of the man. And so Joffrey is quite upset about this because it spoiled his shooting for the day. He's just like, what fucking jackass was in the bushes? You ruined my shooting. Dorian is unnerved by this. He thinks it's a bad omen. Like, he got a look at the body, but he didn't get a close look at the body.
He doesn't know who it is. It's just a man.
So it doesn't explicitly say it here, but the impression I get is he saw the body, saw it was James Vane, but did not believe it was James Vane, that he was, again, just seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why this unnerves him so much. Like, he tells Harry as much as they're walking back to the conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
Harry finds it unfortunate, but not really worth talking about or lingering on.
Yeah, Harry doesn't
And
give
he
a shit.
definitely doesn't want to discuss it at dinner. He is concerned about Dorian, though, and he asks if there's, like, anything he can do. Dorian is dismissive. He's just like, I think it's a bad omen that this guy was killed. I think that I might find myself experiencing a similar fate. I need to retreat to my yacht. He has a yacht! God damn it.
Excuse me, I'll be on my yacht.
So they get back to the conservatory. They find the gardener with a message for Dorian from the Duchess. Harry claims she is in love with Dorian. And Dorian chides him for speaking of something so scandalous. And I don't remember what Harry said, but it's not really all that important.
No.
Like, it didn't feel important. So they speak briefly with the Duchess before Dorian goes to lie down. When he is gone, Harry outright asks the Duchess if she loves Dorian, and she thinks about it, and she's like, I wish I knew. And then they talk about her husband a little bit, and like how, like, I think Harry asks her, like, are you concerned about your husband getting jealous? And she's like, oh, I wish he would get jealous.
Yeah. I wish he had been.
She definitely feels some sort of way about him. Like, I think it's just as simple as she wants to jump his bones.
It's for sure lust. I mean, come on. He's beautiful.
So Dorian spends some time in his room, and while he's in there, he he's thinking about everything, and he just decides that he's going to leave Selby Royal. He's not going to sleep there another night.
Mm-hmm.
Someone knocks at the door, one of the conservatory's valets, as Dorian is writing a note to Lord Henry saying, I need to go see my doctor. Right. I mean, he's been unnerved this whole time, and people are aware of that.
Absolutely.
Even though he won't talk about why, they're aware that he's unnerved.
Yeah, something's up.
So, one of the conservatory's valets comes to him. Dorian had assumed that the man already knew who the dead guy was, and so he was prepared to write a check to the family for whatever amount the valet deemed appropriate. Just, the entitlement of rich people. Like, oh,
I know.
Oh no, someone died at my party.
How much will this cost?
How much should I write out the check
yep.
for? So, the man actually went to Dorian because he hoped that Dorian knew who the dead man was.
They don't know who he is.
Dorian had no idea. The valet tells Dorian it seems the man was a sailor. This makes Dorian drop his pen. He's like, what? And the guy, he describes the man's appearance.
Yep.
It's like, it looks to us like he is a sailor.
He had some sort of tattoo.
He had tattoos on both of his arms, and he had a 6-shooter on him. So this leads Dorian to believe that it was James Vane, though he doesn't tell the valet that. He's like, where's the body? I want to go see it.
I had to go.
The guy's like, it's in the barn.
In the empty stable.
Nobody wants to keep a dead body in their quarters.
Right.
That's bad luck. And it's like, well, yeah, sure. So he goes to the body. He can't bring himself to remove the covering himself, so he asks one of the servants to do it. And he looks at the body. And
oh, man.
Yeah, it's James Vane. And he is overjoyed that it is James Vane, because that means all of his problems are solved. So
he knew he was safe.
I feel some sort of way about this chapter.
Tell me.
I don't like it. I don't like how this is resolved. I don't like this idea of this man who is trying to kill Dorian, and he gets killed while hiding in the bushes by accident?
Yeah, true.
Like, what?
It's a little anticlimactic, but it is definitely par for the course with how Wilde, is moving Dorian through this story. Like, he had every opportunity to fail and get drugged down, killed, found out, whatever, and it just keeps happening that he doesn't. Yeah. And this is just another instance of Dorian just skating through.
But I mean, I suppose it makes sense because the focus is on Dorian and his feelings about everything. Like, despite the fact that he, is just gliding through life. He's an observer of his own life, a spectator, rather, of his own life. And, nothing matters except his own pleasures. Dude's fucking terrified he's gonna get killed. Terrified.
Yeah. I mean, he's deluding himself into thinking that he's not at fault for any of this, and, that, it couldn't have been avoided. They made me do it, whatever. I know that deep down, he feels guilty. He knows he's at fault. Yeah. He knows it's only a matter of time.
I think he attributes more to that painting of himself than he ought to. I think the only thing that painting does is hide what he really looks like. I think that's all it does. I don't think it, detaches him from his soul or anything. And I don't think it gave him a free lunch to just do whatever the fuck he wanted his entire life.
No, I think that's a lesson that he refuses to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up today. Kind of a brief episode. I think simply because, these are all additional chapters.
Yeah.
So I am going to mention, I'm not going to talk about the content of the next episode of the final 2 chapters, but I am going to mention now how the story has been altered from the original version to the classic version. So in the original version, chapters 19 and 20 are one chapter. The events of the next episode, it is all from the original story. all of the chapters that we discussed in this episode and the last chapter of the last episode were additional chapters that Oscar Wilde wrote for the classic version of the story.
Okay. Yeah, no spoilers, thank you.
Yeah, no, you haven't read it yet.
No.
I accidentally read it because I was reading the uncensored version,
Right.
and I didn't realize I was reading the last chapter.
Big whoopsie daisies.
Yeah, because like because my version, like I mentioned before, it's kind of like a scholarly text. Like it's got the general introduction, it's got the textual introduction, and it's got like a ton of notes padding the back of the book. So I thought I had a bit more left, but no, just the end is just like, it's like a half inch of notes.
Did you read all of them?
No!
Oh. Oh, well, maybe you will eventually.
Maybe I will eventually.
Who knows?
In 2 weeks, we are going to talk about chapters 19 and 20 of this book, and then that'll be the end of our discussion of this book. So we'll just conclude that episode by just talking about the whole book in general.
Absolutely.
What we think about it.
Its themes, it's the ideas that it presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
So, thank you, Jackie, for reading along with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you, James Weller, for our music. We love the music that you have made for us. And thank you, VidWest. Yeah, I pay a membership for it, but thank you, VidWest. Like, none of this would be possible without you. Like,
they're like super chill here.
They are super chill here.
Yeah.
We love it here. And thank you all for listening and reading along with us.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts or feelings that you want to share with us or other people listening, drop a comment.
Absolutely.
We would love to hear what you have to say.
If there has been any point in this that it has inspired you to pick up The Picture of Dorian Gray and either read along or, you know, maybe after you finish with our series here, read it on your own, let us know. I think that kind of thing's really cool, because I feel like that's the spirit of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just the book club.
And think about other books that you'd want us to read and let us know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.